Welcome back to another Par Save Productions. We're here, the third PDGA National Tour event of the year. We're here in the beautiful Santa Cruz, California, right on the coast. Some nice B-roll shots of the beach and the boardwalk right there. We've got another sweet card in front of us, AJ.
Yes, we do. I'm AJ Risley.
I'm Nate Perkins.
In the booth with me.
Thanks, AJ.
Yeah.
Guys, we've got Paul McBeth, Eagle McMahon, Manabu Kajiyama, all the way from Japan. And we've got the Utah Open champion, Matt Bell.
At Bell City.
So this year, Daylaw's coming at you a little bit different.
Right.
TD's worked on the flow a little bit to kind of help out with some of the more dangerous holes.
Yeah, we're starting on Daylaw hole 25. Starting with the hill. And Manabu first on the tee.
Yeah, it's 345 feet, but it plays pretty significantly uphill.
Right.
And there's only a few shapes you can take. You can't really start it out too wide on the left on that Annie, and you can't really throw a spike hyzer at it.
Yeah, we're teeing off from like under a pretty low canopy, going uphill. And
this looks great. Just head straight for it.
Yeah.
Annie skip. That's
gets a roll, and it turns into the roll. Because that's the thing out here. I mean, we're going to say it over and over again. Daylaw is all about the angle at which you land your disc on the ground.
AJ, you've said it perfectly. And that sometimes is the difference between a good round, a great round, and a really poor round, is just how flat can you land that disc? Can you match that hillside? That's a tucked in shirt from Matt Bell. He is looking
in pants,
spiffy today.
Oh, he's
feeling it.
He's doing it. I mean, he's a Santa Cruz local now, and in front of the hometown crowd. Manabu kind of pinched on that short right side. Not much he could really do there. This is a pretty good tester to start Eagles round.
Yeah, one of those putts that can really determine how your putting is going to be.
Oh, ooh, great catch.
Yeah, great catch.
A little bit left side, but still a true putt, and so stuck in there. Good birdie on hole 1. Hole 1 is playing. I mean, it's hole 25 on Daylaw, and it's playing
played
a
little
easier.
bit under par. Yeah,
right. A lot easier compared to the position it's been in years past.
Yeah, in years past we've seen it. Another 100 feet up the hill.
So, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. Might be 50 feet up the hill, but it feels like another 200 feet.
Right.
And, there were only a couple birdies on it.
Just look at that
tournament.
hill to the left of the basket.
Yeah.
It's like almost 45 degrees. So, yeah, we were playing up that hill, but now nice, manageable, gettable par 3 for most of the field.
I love it. I love the change.
I like
honestly.
it, too.
Yeah.
Brings
3
a
birdies.
little more excitement. Yeah.
I'm so stoked about this card, though, dude. We've got some heavy hitters, and I'm really excited to see Manabu play.
Lots of potential.
All right. Hole 26. We're heading even more up this hill.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. Gosh. Yeah,
There's a
26. It says 276 on the T sign.
Dude, it's plays like 400 feet.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's
Going
tricky,
so far
too.
uphill.
Like, there are a couple different options. You can go wide left. I see an Annie wide left. I see a big forehand on the left side. But the preferred route is that right side. It's skinny, maybe 20 feet wide at max, and you got to keep the angle. You got to keep it flat to Annie, and you got to keep it high and low at the same time. You got to throw it uphill, but you got to keep it under the trees,
Yeah. And that looks like McBeth is doing everything that you just described. Pretty much. Comes up a little bit short, but hey, inside circle 1 on this hole is really good because this is the 6th hardest hole of the day.
This one looks a little wide, but there is a chance that one comes back through. And it does. He's going to have an uphill putt.
And he's on the ground, and we are in California. We're playing the 2-meter rule, and especially at Daylight with all these oaks, and there's some cedars out here. There's just a lot of trees, and 2-meter rule is a real factor.
It is an absolute real factor. The oaks are some of the grabbiest trees that we see on the tour, and these are the only 2 tournaments really that we're going to have this rule in play.
Yeah, pretty much. That was a pretty good shot by Matt. Did he take that? He took the left side Annie route?
Yeah, Matt went that left side Annie route.
Yeah.
It's a good looking pull from Manabu.
So it looks like all 4 have a chance. Manabu with a tough chance. But still, wow. Might as well going straight uphill with the little backstop. Yes.
Oh, wow.
That putt, yeah. That had Matt Bell written all
here
over
we
it.
go. Parse Productions replay.
Yeah,
Just
you
that
could tell.
extension.
With that hyzer and that little pitch up and down, that was just exactly what he wanted as soon as it left his fingertips.
Paul to match him. Oh.
Ooh.
Just a little high side.
And Battle of the Birds there. Eagle with the uphill 28-footer and then some little squawker in the branches. Wonder who won that round.
So believe it or not, hole 26 played even par on the day.
Just
Dead
exactly even?
I've never seen that before.
I think I've seen it once.
What does it take for that to happen?
I don't know. Just the same amount of birdies as bogeys? I don't know. Leave a comment
Look
below.
at that. Yeah.
Tell us, how does that
Explain
happen?
the math for AJ and myself.
There's 81 people in the field. But
A couple of
here we
nice
go.
birdies from Eagle and Matt Bell, though.
2 for 2.
26A, dead straight, 354. It's kind of like on this crest of a hill. If
Yeah.
you do bail out left or turn it over right, it can get pretty dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
And we have the fairways lined with those oaks, and you do not want to hit high in those trees.
We got some mob golf over here, just draining putts on the flyover. That was cool.
So I imagine Eagle's going to be going glow MD3 right here.
Looks good. Plays the hyzer flip, but just a bit too much.
Yeah, just a little strong, a little right.
Yeah, like you said, this is seems like a straightforward hole because it is. It's just straight, but there's a lot of technical difficulties up here. You want to get it high enough so it travels that whole 350, 360 to the basket, but when you get it high, you bring a lot of variables into play. Some low-speed fade, a little bit too much high-speed turn, and it's up
Look
to
at
Paul
this.
McBeth to just get the perfect blend of both.
Yeah,
And there you go.
to follow your point about the height, you see McBeth got that one low, and even though his disc was fading left toward those trees, it was low enough that it didn't have enough time to travel all the
True.
way left, so he's inside the circle.
Wow.
And Manabu's throwing this one perfect.
Great hyzer flip, a little bit of turn.
That's just gorgeous. It seems like he hasn't skipped a beat in all these years.
No, yeah, he's still silky smooth.
Do you think that he's throwing lightweight stuff? Like, 'cause that's what he's used to throwing
Right.
back in Japan?
Honestly, I have no idea.
I really want to find that out.
Oh, yeah, Matt Bell has definitely made a putt like that before in his life.
Yes.
Oh, and-
no, he didn't.
Wow, back to back.
That one
High
was like
putts.
22 feet, AJ.
That was a lot closer than the last one, and it was a lot more level.
Yeah, just flat ground.
So,
I mean, that's like a upper 90 percentile putt for him.
yeah,
That's like a Steph
needs
Curry
to-
free throw.
right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we saw the 1 out of 20 miss pretty much. Yeah, Paul needs to lower his heart rate, perhaps. Great birdie by Manabu. Solo bird. Ooh.
Solo par.
What is it, a part 2? All right, he's on the board. He's on the board.
Manabu's got the solo bird. I'm following you now, AJ. We're moving on down the hill.
Top of the world.
So this one, we moved this pin. Where do we explain this change for us, AJ?
So, yes, a couple trees fell down near where the trademark basket placement is, and also, I think it just got a little bit too dangerous for some people. So now the basket is moved shorter, so that way there's no real threat of hearing the parking lot for call.
And this one's pretty tricky. The tricky part about this is gauging the proper distance when you're throwing this far downhill. It's 378, but that almost has no effect on how you're going to throw this shot,
No,
right?
not at all, because we're going downhill at least 50 feet, if not, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, probably more.
80?
Yep.
So in years past, we'd be going the same amount downhill, but a lot farther. And so now you're kind of scrunching it up. The angle of release is going to be a lot steeper downhill.
We saw a couple hyzers, 3 hyzers, and Matt actually went straight at it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, honestly, we see 3 shots, 3 throws, and then 1 real golf shot.
Yeah, 3 hyzers, you're saying, and then Matt going straight at it. Oh,
yeah.
no.
I mean,
Manabu a little left on that one.
there you go. That's a real birdie right there. Taking the man route.
Yeah, is that your route, AJ?
I don't know. It's more challenging. I don't know.
It is.
It's just an easy hyzer. Okay. All right. Good job. You did it. Except Manabu. You got
almost too
hit
easy.
dead center on these mock X's.
Yeah, they
yeah.
will push. They will push.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying that's too easy for Paul, huh? Just to kind of swing that hyzer out
Well,
there and let
everything's
it
too
die.
easy for Paul. I don't know.
So Manabu's switching it up, going with the lone par on that one.
Yep. He got one and then he gave it right back. But, 3 guys to give it right back to. It's
Now we're moving on to hole 5. This is our original course hole 1.
course hole 1.
One of the trickier par 3s on the course, 315, but again, we're playing back up this hill. We've got a Mando on the right, Mando on the left. And another one where you're throwing it uphill, but you got to keep it low.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so tricky. If you get it too high, it's just going to get knocked down, and you got to get over that, underneath that log. Looks like Eagle does. There's like some railroad ties. If you don't get it high enough, it's just going to stop you at 80 feet.
Yeah, this is one of the few holes that averages over par for the day.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
Wow. That was a great shot by Matt.
Hits off the log and rolls backwards. And he needs to get up.
Oh, skip.
Oh, you see, that's just squared that railroad tie.
Yeah.
Just going to be pitching up for a par. Get under that.
Yeah, you had enough heat on it to push through those branches.
Little zone approach.
Not bad.
And even that has a potential to come back down.
Ooh, chill.
It's just like that.
Okay.
If you're not making it out here at Daylight, you really don't want to be touching metal.
Yeah.
You know it?
Or you want to get like a skip off the rim that lands flat on the ground somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You just don't want to see your disc hitting the metal if it's not like dead
Unless
center
it's
chains.
Yeah, you're right. You're very right. Yeah, this is a tough one. I feel like it's almost impossible to get a drive within 10 feet of the basket.
Yeah, it's
Just
I don't know if I've ever seen it that close.
It's like 3 levels that you got to get up.
There's
get
levels.
up and over. Yeah, it's just crazy. Eagle though, he's making moves.
4 down through 5.
4 down through 5, yeah.
Sweet.
And we're going into hole 2. Uphill
Again.
Yes. We're playing. The surface of the ground is like the surface of the moon. It's just like concrete.
It is.
And it's sloping away to the left. Past the basket is a steep drop off. Go figure. What else is new?
This one's so iconic. It feels.
It really is.
Like this is one of the ones you think of.
Then again, just about every hole on this course is iconic, and thus the course is iconic.
Yeah. And so Eagle is actually going for that anti-forehand route, and he just did not give it the height, and it cut roll out. Wow, look at this.
That's the way to play the backhand.
Wow, you really don't see the hyzer get pushed that forward that often. That's a great shot from Matt.
That's what you got to do. You got to hug the trees on the left side, and you got to keep it low, because if you don't hug those left trees tight enough, those ones on the right that you see, the little more vibrant green, they come into play in a heartbeat.
This one just scooting way off to the left.
And the difference between Manabu's shot and Matt's shot, I think, is that Matt was throwing something a little more understable compared to Manabu's. And so it was able to flip up, push forward a little bit. Oh,
that's a great point.
Almost seemed like the crowd sighed in relief when Paul decided to lay that up or something. I don't know.
They want to see some action. That is such a good 2 on hole 2.
Yeah, sure is.
Okay, maybe this side was Manabu's putter rolling a little bit.
There were a lot of 2s on hole 2.
Yeah?
A lot more than you might think.
I'm not picturing too many.
19% of the field, 15 birdies out of 81.
Gosh.
I mean, that's decent.
These guys are getting good.
Still in the top 10 of most difficult, though.
Man, Matt's just getting on it.
Yeah.
Giving it everything he's got.
He's tied up eagle for the round, 4 down through 6. Moving into another iconic hole. In my eyes, I mean, it's just the beautiful downhill 350-foot shot that you can throw a putter on. You can either throw an air shot, or you can throw the, I don't know what you would call it, the traditional, the vintage De La route, the putter roller over the left side. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
There's so much history.
That's totally old
here.
school. Yeah. And it's pretty interesting to see like a lot of these like new age golfers come in and play an old school course like this, because a player like myself and maybe a player like Eagle, we're not really throwing the old school shots. Eagle's going big forehand. They weren't doing that back in the day. They didn't have the disc 90s, for it. Right. They would be too flippy. And Eagle's just throwing a spike forehand to it, kind of breaking the hole, you could say.
A little bit like what we saw on Top of the World, that short placement with those big spike hyzers. But you gotta do what you gotta do. And wow, that's 4 big forehands. 4 big forehands. That's the name of my new doo-wop group. We'll see.
Manabu just leaving that one a little bit wide. But his forehand form looked great, though. Really loved the way he popped that out there. Oh. And there's that little ultimate toss that I'm really excited to see. He's got that smooth little ultimate style flick approach.
Solid putt, Matt Bell.
Matt with another one.
That's what he does.
Dude, he makes them.
When he puts himself inside circle too, it's dangerous for everyone else. Clutch. Yeah, I was telling a couple people about like this kind of idea that I had, where if you have a lot of out at De La, if you have a lot of tap-in pars, then you're feeling all right for the course. But it's when you start to get like a lot of 20-foot par putts or 30-foot putts for par, that's when things get pretty tiring.
Yeah, mental. It starts to wear down on you mentally, and you miss a couple of those, and you catch that metal that we were talking about, and that's where you get that classic. You've been De La'd.
Right.
Is that how they say it up here?
Once you lose your grip, and start just flailing about, the course will just toss you.
So here we are. This is
another iconic hole.
It could be the most iconic just because of what has happened on this at our big event. You know, we got the Kraig Barsby roller ace.
Oof,
I don't know how many times it's been said, but it's still one of the most unbelievable shots I've ever heard of.
I feel like
people are still trying to repeat it.
Yeah.
I don't think the forehand roller is the play. I really don't. But
Matt's
Matt
trying
is
to prove
getting
you wrong.
all the way down there. Is this real life?
Oh my gosh.
Is he 10 feet from the pin?
Yeah, he's
and
parked.
Still rolling?
He's circle one. Maybe, I mean, I think the play here is you throw something that you
do the forehand roller. It's crazy.
You throw something that you know is going to flip over to the left, and then it's flipping over away from the cliff that's on the right side that just keeps dropping off and dropping off.
But guys, there are roots everywhere. If you hit one root and send to the right, it's just going to keep rolling down this canyon.
I don't know if you could hear McBeth there. He's telling himself he needed to release the disc flat just so it pushes a little bit farther down the fairway. But then he also said, that'll probably be a bogey. And
pushes
when
a little
you
long.
When you run that putt that hard and you don't hit anything,
That's a tricky little putt. He's got that low-hanging oak right there.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Bell's forehand roller?
Sure is.
Doing a little course maintenance, setting up his putt.
I do believe he's a member of the Delaveaga Disc Golf Club, so good on him for
helping
out with the course.
Mm-hmm. Looks good, Matt. This is some serious.
He's running out of time. I mean, his mini's been down for 25 seconds. 26, 27.
The wind's picking up on him.
Oh, we cut. We'll never know. Boom.
Get out of here.
I knew they put all that in there just
come on.
Just to lead up.
That was unbelievable.
Of course.
The forehand roller birdie. I haven't seen it on camera. There it was.
McBeth.
I'm still not a believer though.
Well, just follow him on Instagram at Matt Bell City.
This is a tricky. He's got a little chicken wing hinge putt.
Almost a horseshoe. Great
yeah,
save.
That one's tricky. That's a really good save from there. I've seen a lot of people miss that putt.
And the thing about those is you find yourself with those putts, and they're never like 12 feet, whatever. No, they're like 20, 25 feet. Because usually you're running that long putt, and the ground is just so hard packed that
scoots.
You miss, and it just
scoots on over to 20.
Like that. Easy peasy. Dang, Matt Bell taking a stroke on the card.
That's really a sick birdie. Hole 4 does not get birdied very often. Can you tell me how many birdies we had on it during round 1, AJ?
I can tell you. It was the hardest hole of the day.
Get out of here.
0.28 over par. Let's see. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 birdies on the day.
6
One of
birdies.
them you saw on camera, and 2 of them you're listening to.
Let's go.
Yes.
Sorry. Got a little stuff.
Shameless plug, whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I birdied it from like 75 feet out. I made a sick putt, whatever.
Well, that's sick, dude. Mine was like 12 feet. It was all luck.
Yeah, okay.
The day love.
Here we go, hole 7. We're hopping over from hole 4 to hole 7.
This is the hole I think of.
Another iconic hole. I'm gonna say it on every hole.
This is the
one
I think of though. This is that 350 straight shot, and it says 393, but again we're playing downhill on this one, and so you're gonna see a lot of people go with the mid range. This looks great if it gets low enough.
Wow, he played that hyzer flip perfectly.
Oh, and it hits that tree though and stops in layup zone.
Oh really? Dang it! The line looked great.
Get it low, Paul.
And yeah, I mean it's.
And he calls.
You called it. And he called it. How'd you know? That was insane.
That was crazy.
And the spit out from the bush.
But to get this one inside 30 feet is truly something special because, as Paul said, you have to get that mid-range low. It's got to have a little bit of action.
Wow.
That's beautiful. But again, that's might be like right at the circle's edge, and that. A lot of the times that's a layup because of how downhill this is.
I hope he runs it.
And Matt's shot must have been so hardcore that they couldn't keep up with it.
He probably
drained it.
He probably drained that insane putt.
He's running for this.
Do it.
Stop it.
Oh, that's so sick.
That is ridiculous. Is that a full-on bid, or was that one of those like floaty half goes?
Dang. I don't know. But
I don't know either.
Either way, I mean, he committed to it, so.
That's when things start to get dangerous, though, when you give it the half go.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, you can see the way he's kind of like having to walk to get to the basket. He's going downhill, and it just keeps going downhill. And there's Matt's shot, who he probably had some speed on it, but it wasn't chain height.
He's so
And that putt
sick,
wasn't
dude.
even chain height, but he just did
Look
work.
at that. Look at that little bounce.
Dude.
Get up.
I'm telling you, that's what he does. That's
From
what
the
he
woods.
does.
It seems like it's always from the woods,
It's
too.
always
Like
from the
his
woods.
face is like covered in like poison oak, and like he's still making it, laying out.
It's like the double foot jumper. I don't even know. His jump putt style.
That little
is
straddle
pretty
jumper.
sweet.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, straddle
This is a
jumper.
nice little perspective. Oh, and just the cabbage. He's lucky that didn't catch and roll. Hitting the cage on this one is no good, and we've seen Paul miss quite a few putts now in this
Yeah.
front
This
9
is,
holes.
Interesting. He's struggling a little bit by his standards.
Yeah.
Manabu, great birdie, solo bird again.
Birdie.
Another solo bird. Those
Yeah.
feel good. That he just picked up another skin. He's got like 10 skins right now. Haven't even played 9 holes. Another iconic hole. The thing about these holes is just, a lot of them, they're just dead straight. We saw on hole 7, dead straight. Hole 8, dead straight. Trouble on the left, kind of. There's an OB road, but things fall off and get real bushy on the right side.
They tend to drift that direction. It kind of slopes downhill, and something about that causes that disc. If you get it turned over, it just tends to stay turned over. This one looks great. Needs to skip. Oh, that's money. Go in.
Man, giving the crowd a show.
That is really the perfect way to play that hole. Straight, a little bit of hyzer at the end, gets the little baby skip into those logs. This is also tracking.
Wowzers.
Wow, almost gets it in the air. Those are 2 picture-perfect shots. Matt opts to keep his high and not play that skip. That needs to anti-skip. Slow down.
And yeah.
Wow.
And that's kind of what
That
you
worked
get
out.
on that high left side of the fairway is it slopes off to the right, so you can get away with coming out early and getting that reverse skip, negative skip, anti-skip, whatever it is. Usually right hand, backhand skips left. Whenever you skip right, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, no. Eagle from that straddle. Didn't look like he had his legs in that one as much.
Yeah.
Kind of didn't get that normal extension that we're used to seeing, and keeps that one too low.
And this is hole 8 is one of the easier holes on the course, 18th hardest. So what would that be out of 24? Sixth or 7th easiest. And I think that's going to kind of set a trend for the next handful of holes. They're going to get a little bit easier, a little bit more attackable, and McBeth is hopefully going to follow that trend. He, back to 4, up to 4 under par now through 10 holes. Matt Bell just rolling, 7 down.
Yeah, this is definitely a stretch, AJ. You need to string some of these together to really get a good round off, because as soon as you're done with this little string, it gets just tricky, and like some of them are
They're
impossible.
Almost, yeah. An 8-hole 8A, as it's called on the T sign, the easiest hole on the course. 201 feet, but just another iconic little picturesque hole, playing over a little valley,
That's
curving left to
beautiful.
right. There's a gap that you got to hit, and then there's one tree that you're either going to go left or right of it. If you hit it, you've got a long putt for birdie. And when the field averages 2.4, more than half a stroke under par, you don't want to be one of those two. You don't want to be the guy on the card who doesn't get the birdie.
It's very true. While it is the easiest hole, it is one of those where numbers can happen. And that is because we
That's true.
have early trees on our left. A lot of these players are going to be throwing annies, and those trees on the left, if you hit one of those early ones, it's almost a re-tee. You know, because you'll hit right and you go down this canyon, and the other way people make a number on this hole that isn't a 2 is they run that putt. And if you see back behind that pin, it's just a total cliff, and discs do not stop rolling. We have a couple.
I'm not going to do it.
Gonna name drop a bogey.
No.
The 4s.
No, I won't do it. I promise.
Was it me? Did I bogey?
Eagle's the lone par. What are you doing?
Not feeling good after that. Matt Bell 8 down through 11. He's smoking the course right now.
We're not even halfway done, and he's like
not even
putting
done
up
with the
a
front
lead.
12. Yeah, where he's already
putting up a lead card kind of score. And again, another iconic hole. A change from previous years. There's a mandatory on the left side of the fairway to keep players from playing into the next hole's fairway. This is hole 9, nice and straight, and
we're gonna see high, mid. That needs a little bit of turn. Gets a little bit of day love. Needs to come out of that tree. I think it did. I think it came down.
I think it did.
Oh, it's stuck in the tree, he said.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no good. No good when they stay in the tree. Eagle going glow MD3 right here. Just needs a little bit more drift.
Oh, and he finds it. That was such a cool camera angle.
That's
and
so
the
sick.
spin.
It's still spinning on the ground.
Wow, that guy's whoever.
He's so cool.
The cameraman's, he's going to win an award for that.
Why do you keep getting stuck?
I don't know, Paul.
Well, it looks like we might have missed a couple drives on that one. Manabu from 50 feet.
Look at that basket just gleaming.
You know who his putt reminds me?
He did run that putt on hole 7. He did run it. It's the same looking putt.
It is the same putt. You're right.
Same result.
Same level of commitment. And you know, his putt reminds me of Emerson Keith. He's got that kind of like left to right, almost like he's got a little bit of extra hinge, but he makes it work. Like he's coming from that left hip, which you don't see very often.
It's more of it's like a true throw.
It
not
is
exactly
it
a putt.
is like a throw, and that's what Emerson's is like. It's like
Ooh.
he's like one of the few that throw it in on the tour.
Right.
It's pretty awesome to see.
Great birdie by Eagle. A little exasperation there for, maybe not exasperation, but aggravation, I don't know, for Matt Bell. He's been rolling, and you kind of expect him to make that putt at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we expect it. He expects it, and he didn't. He didn't make it happen.
He'll make that one though all day.
And Paul with the 2-meter roll bogey, is that confirmed? It had a 4 on hole 9. Okay, so Bell, it looks like, with the 2-meter rule.
Matt Bell with the.
I'm not quite sure, but Bell bogeyed, McBeth parred, Manabu and Eagle both with birdie 2s.
And Drew Gibson aced it.
Sweet.
I guess.
That's legit. I bet it was just a clean rock shot.
Had to be. Yeah, Matt Bell, bogey. But besides that one hole, I mean, he and Paul and Eagle and Manabu, they're tearing it up.
Yeah, they're putting
Manabu
together
4 in a
great
row.
rounds.
Oh my gosh. Just doing things.
Thank you guys for joining us for the front 12 action.
I feel like I should. I don't even know what to say, but man, Delaveaga, just watching golf at Delaveaga is always a treat. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to click on the link for the second half of this round, because it's going to be fun.
Pretty stoked to see how these guys finish up with these scores that they're already putting down.
Same, especially with the holes that they've got left to play. More iconic holes. Who would have thunk it? Catch you guys on the back.
Later.